That is true. You've seen some alternate uses of IFR as well. I mean, in visioning primarily. If today my team is doing A, B, and C activities, what should be my vision in say 2014? I've actually asked them, okay, who are your customers and what is their IFR look like, or customers, even better, what does their IFR look like? And then can you work your way backwards for your customer, and see what they should be, what their roadmap should be, and then work your way to customers and then see their roadmap. And now things become a lot clearer on what you should do and where you should be going. This I found it to be very useful and visioning for teams, particularly because they know they do very well whatever they're trying to do right now, but where will they be in a few years?
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I have never thought of it before. Maybe I could try using it. Sure.
And Bala, when you mentioned customer or a supplier, or somebody who is party to your business, like an investor or a stakeholder, each one's IFR is different. And what if a couple of those IFRs are actually contradicting or going in two different directions? Like, say I'm a service provider, I want to increase my revenue, but my customer wants to reduce cost. So if he reduces cost, then my revenue is going down. So the ideality for both of us is in contradiction. So how do you handle such things? And together it becomes the cliched win-win for both you and your customer. So how does IFR handle this?
Normal way to look at it would be, the traditional way of solving it would be, if my revenue is going to be hit because my customer is giving away stuff for free, let's see if I can work an in-between solution. But TRIZ clearly says that, the customer, if he's giving things away for free, should still sustain that, and I should still get my revenue. And the "and" is the most important part. So, IFR may individually may not be able to help here. Maybe in combination with contradiction, that arises because of this, and we introduce a principle to solve that, is one way to do it. Take an IFR. In fact, it is very important to find out what my customer wants in terms of IFR, and what do I really want in terms of IFR. And in fact, the most powerful solutions come in when they contradict.
I think this is going to be the reality. When we do IFR for multiple stakeholders, I'm sure there is going to be a clash, and the contradiction that arises out of that will be the first thing for us to get started on applying the TRIZ tools. So I think this will definitely happen, and TRIZ is prepared to handle that.
That is true. So these are it will give you problem statements for taking up in the solve stage, in the solution stage. So IFR is an excellent way to get that out. Another thought that came to me when you were saying combining it with 5 whys. I found out that there's another interesting place where the IFR can fit in is also the tool called 9 windows. 9 windows essentially spread in space and time of my system. So system no longer is just a system. Like say in front of me is a mouse. Mouse is just the system, but the stuff around it is the super system. So there's a phone, there's a laptop, there's a keyboard, there's a screen. So all this actually form the super system around it. And now subsystem in terms of space is the components inside a mouse, the driver, software driver, the hardware wheel, all the components that make up a mouse. In fact, even the plastic that goes into making the mouse. So that's the subsystem. So what was it? All these things in back in time, how were they? And going forward, how will they look like? So a touchpad is probably the next version of a mouse. So in combination with IFR, each of these dimensions actually is an IFR if you think about it. So my system actually evolves from what used to be just a trackball to a mouse to trackpad to touch screen. Is actually following a certain IFR. I mean, steps in leading to an IFR, which is so.
True.
So, and if you take the super system component, it's also evolving towards an IFR.
Absolutely. See, the past and the present, it's easy. You have data, but when it comes to the future, the only way you can predict it will be through IFR exercise. So that's true.
So that is something that I found very useful in when you combine some of these tools that seem to be readily fitting in. Like the 5 Eyes, I liked it, and 9 Windows now. Murali, I remember you some days ago you described about we are talking about the positive stuff, which is the ideal final result. You were even talking about the other end of the spectrum, which is the worst final result. Could you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so, when you have a metaphor applied to IFR like a heaven, there is also a hell always.
Yeah.
So the easier way to look at this is, it's maximizing, the utility or potential that is available in the current system. So you could also do the same thing for the harmful effects. And what it does is basically it makes your system more robust to changes that could adversely affect the system's behavior itself. And worst final result, which is the exact opposite of an ideal final result, will force you to think on those lines actually. So that's what is the suggestion here.
Sure. I remember using a tool like that at GE, that innovative problem solving module. One tool, for example, you take a pen. How do I design a pen that doesn't write? Then a whole bunch of ideas, and then reverse all those ideas to see how I can come up with a better pen. So some of this, surely it helps you to get out of those constraint thinking and start thinking fresh. Yeah.
Interesting.
One issue that I have always had with applying IFRs in group settings is that it's very difficult for people to think of completely ideal future, but not actually have any events or accidents or any turning points from now to that end future. And then they actually build up, backwards. I mean, they are being very realistic in building that. But there is no room in IFR where you could actually insert, something like an accident. For example, publishing industry, if you look at it, internet was an accident for the publishing industry. But if you were to predict about everybody being able to publish as self-publish as an ideal final result, probably in the 1960s, the internet accident happened somewhere in the 80s, and that completely changed it. And when we are building the IFR itself, there is no scope for us to introduce such an accident, however real it is. So that puts a sort of constraint into people's thinking itself, because they are looking for stuff that will radically change the way in which they are doing things. Internet happens to be one of that. There are multiple examples like that, like electricity, or there are more fundamental innovations like that which will change the course of certain technology or the need, human need itself. So that I am feeling it's sort of insufficient in IFR. I don't know if you have had any such similar experiences.
I would. Sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shankar.
Accident is basically an enabler that makes it happen. But if you really think, what would be an ideal book like? And what would be the ideal condition for an author? What would be the ideal condition for the reader? For example, for an author, if I'm an author, I would like to be able to write a book. The moment I think of writing a book, I should be able to write it and make it accessible to everybody in the world. As a reader, whatever things I'm looking for, I should be able to find immediately and access it and read it at no cost or at a very nominal cost. Like that, if you look at the ideal situation for each of these things around a book, maybe the situation that is being enabled by internet comes out, but we don't know at that stage what really will enable that. This happens that after some time the internet revolution came in and really made that happen. So the IFR thing would still capture. If you do IFR very religiously, you will still end up in the same situation where anybody can publish, anybody can access and stuff like that, but you will be zapped to how to really make that happen with the current kind of technology. So that's why it again goes back to that entire IFR is an implementation free visualization of how ideally the thing should be like. So which is easier said than done. That's where the real catch is.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, for which is what am I saying? Luckily, internet got invented and this happened. Well, one example I can think of is George Lucas, who's the director of the Star Wars series. Apparently, in the 70s, was way ahead of his time. So you can call him like intermediate IFR guy, thinking far ahead in time. Actually had trouble putting things in place. So far ahead of his time in terms of sound effects that he wanted, the graphics that he wanted, all that in the 70s wasn't just available. But he still went ahead and did something to fix it up, and the visuals are okay at the time. But when the internet, the graphic stuff matured, he said, now I have to remaster it so that I can... Okay, start. Sorry.
Okay. So the easiest way to get comfortable using IFR is to just pick up something common around us which we use day in and day out, and then get into a mode of thinking ideal version of this, how it would be like, rather than directly jumping into using IFR for a highly technical thing in your own project. Okay. So once you do this a few times for things around you, you'll become a lot more comfortable in getting into that mode, because it needs a particular mode of thinking to really do IFR very effectively. So if you do it for a few times around common stuff that all of us can relate to, and you discuss this with people around you, then you become a lot more comfortable. That's when you can really start applying the IFR to something little more technical and deep in your own project. So that would be my suggestion in terms of making sure that we are comfortable thinking in the IFR mode.
Okay, Murali, what's your suggestion?
I'll go with Daryl Mann's suggestion that to make any function ideal, add the word self as a prefix to that, and then you could basically make it ideal. And you do that for your own personal life. You will end up automating a lot of stuff, and then that will free up a lot of space for you, and that's when you start thinking about IFRs.
Okay. My suggestion is, take up a problem that you really care about, and then apply it, and then see the results for yourself. That's when permanent change happens. That's been my experience. So we have three different opinions. One is, take up common objects, and then see how their